Floods that have hit the country, especially the southern parts of the country, particularly Masungo, Matabele South, Matabele North, and Bulawayo, have left an estimated 250 people dead and thousands homeless. Thousands of people, particularly in Chilocho, have been displaced. Crops, livestock, and other property were destroyed by the rains. Schools and other infrastructure such as bridges have been destroyed in some parts of the country, cutting off children from schools and health facilities. Those already in need of the food aid cannot be reached because of the flooded roads. The Air Force of Zimbabwe has deployed helicopters to rescue survivors, but the floods have exposed government's poor state of disaster preparedness. The rights to life, personal security, housing, health, and education have been compromised by the floods. Although the floods are a natural disaster which cannot be blamed on the government, the response to the disaster have exposed the government, which has now appealed for international help. In Matabele North, the hardest hit areas of ZPP include Mahlosi, Mahlaba, Tamuhla, Mbamba, Meli, Luchome, Mapili, and Banyana. Over 60 families have been displaced, resulting in them being housed at a camp. 5 schools were flooded, forcing children to abandon their studies. In Matabele South, a total of 4 schools were shut down after they were affected by the floods. Matabele South has hosted the 21st February movement celebrations in Matopas, and this has resulted in the closure of schools. School children were ordered to attend the event, while other violations such as harassment and intimidation and deprivation of property were recorded in the region. In other provinces that have not been affected by the flood, the usual violations were recorded. There were cases of political violence, deprivation of food, denial of rights to education and health care on partisan political grounds. People continue to be deprived of food mainly by ZANU-PF factionaries on allegations that they are opposition supporters. In Mashonaland Central, 2 people had their farms invaded after they defected from ZANU-PF to Zimbabwe People First ZPF. In a bizarre case, a citizen was harassed for wearing a t-shirt that appeared to mock President Robert Mugabe's birthday. People were forced to contribute between $1 and $2 for the president's birthday celebration across the country. Zimbabwe Peace Project ZPP report for February reveals a total of 147 violations, up from last month's 108 cases. The month under focus had 663 victims altogether. Of those victims, those from the Zimbabwe People First ZPF were 44 people, 6.5%, and those affiliated to the Movement for Democratic Change MDCT stood at 1.8%, which translates to 12 people. Victims affiliated to the MDCT declined, while those affiliated to ZPF increased. 90.8% of the victims did not reveal their political affiliations. This suggests that political violence is no longer targeted to known political parties, but those who may be politically inactive. A total of 663 victims and 139 perpetrators were recorded. 62.2% of the victims were male, while 37.8% were females. 89.9% of the perpetrators were male, while 10.1% were female. 119 perpetrators were affiliated to the ruling ZANU-PF party, which is 85.6% of the figure. 15 perpetrators could not establish which party they were affiliated to, and the remaining 5 perpetrators are members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police. In most of the incidents reported in the month under review, it is clear that the wheels for the 2018 elections are well in motion, seen by the number of citizens threatened with unspecified punishment. Some who have been told in no uncertain terms that they should not come crying when action begins to be taken in the run-up to the elections. To demonstrate the structures of primary elections, a well-oiled ZANU-PF has been seen to restructure its local structures from the south. Some citizens have been told they are lucky to have gone past the 2013 elections and have been warned that they might not be that lucky come 2018 if they do not conform.